Hello guys, what is up? My name is Dylan. Welcome to the Popcorn Podcast. This is episode number 84. Guys, today we've got a fresh review. We haven't been doing as many reviews this year because I've kind of shifted the episode content to more sort of general topic discussions around film. But for a film as big and as I would say as impactful in the year of 2025 as this one, what we're going to be talking about today, there's just no way I couldn't just sort of dedicate an entire episode to doing so. And like many episodes this year, we have a brand new guest. Mr. Brand New Guest, would you like to tell the folks who you are?
Thank you, Dylan. I just want to first and foremost say what a pleasure it is to be here.
Yo, shut up.
My name's Isaac. Me and Dylan go way back.
Since we were 11 years old.
Yep.
We've known each other for 15 years.
Yeah. 15. I met Dylan first day of year 7. He was wearing, for all the fans at home, he was wearing like a Peaky Blinders cap. He used to wear a Peaky Blinders cap.
That was not the first day of year 7. So we had a taster day when we were both in year 6 at different primary schools. And my school back in the day was quite formal, and it was a Christian school, it was a Catholic school. So one of the uniform attire was actually like basically a Peaky Blinders cap.
But then you brought that to secondary. You carried that over into secondary.
No, I didn't carry it over. I came in the taster day from primary school.
Okay.
Bro, what do you mean? We were new uniform for first day.
Bro, you kept wearing it, but that's okay.
Anyhow, guys, Isaac is one of my dearest friends. Like I said, we've known each other for what feels like a lifetime, in forever. And in complete honesty, I don't feel like there's many other people I could really speak to about this film, especially because we experienced it together last week. But before we get into one battle after another, Isaac, you would hate the formality of this, but I'm going to do it anyway. With every new guest, guys, of course, we ask them a round of quickfire questions to kind of get to know them a little bit of their movie kind of taste, and kind of see who they are, for lack of a better phrase. So anyways, are you ready?
No, I'm not really.
Okay,
I'm not a quick fire man, but we'll go for it.
This is a slow, methodical guy.
Yeah.
All right, first up, Isaac, what's your favorite film?
Synecdoche, New York. Charlie Kaufman.
Very nice. What's a film that makes you laugh?
Project X. Rush Hours 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Which one's the best Rush Hour? Why is it 2?
Rush Hour 2 because
no wonder you mad.
This film made me laugh that we saw today.
Nice.
Carry on.
What's a film that makes you cry?
I haven't cried at a film in a long time, but when I was a Cat in the Hat made me cry.
Cat in the Hat?
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Do you know when he tells the cat to leave, innit?
I do remember.
Yeah.
I thought Tick Tick Boom made you cry.
Tick Tick Boom did also make me cry. Yeah, great film. I didn't realize we were being serious. Yeah, Tick Tick Boom, gorgeous film. Yeah,
bro, we're dead serious.
Yeah.
What's a film you think is underrated?
I think we were just talking off camera about Friendship this year that came out. I think Friendship has not,
which I still need to check out.
Has not got enough attention. I thought it was a great film.
Yeah. What's a film you think is overrated? Say it.
Yeah, overrated. I think within a movie community now, right? From what I see, I think films tend to get given a lot more hype now just because of the space of social media that we're in. So it's not really a specific answer, but I just think in general people love to use big words. I mean, look, people are throwing around film of the decade on this one already, and I'm like, but that's my idea. I'm not saying it is or isn't. I'm saying overhyped, I think, has become a massive thing within film.
It's true. It's easy to make loud statements before anything is given the time or space to really mature, essentially.
This is the problem with short form content against a film as large and dense as this one.
There you go.
Quick fire.
Yeah. That being said, if you're struggling to remember a film that you thought was overrated, I remember myself, you and Anya had a long kind of discussion on why. Or you just thought The Substance wasn't all that good.
The Substance was in my mind. I would have to rewatch it to properly. But for me, I found that one overrated.
What is your favorite or one of your favorite performances in a film?
Dylan Anasingham in Dali.
That's the right answer. Right answer. No, but seriously though.
Greg in Dali.
Okay, but seriously though.
I'm being serious. I think Greg killed it in Dali.
Greg did kill it.
I think genuinely, I think Greg killed it.
He was actually hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay, but seriously, I need an answer. I need an actual answer.
Of
what's your favorite or one of your favorite performances in a film? First one that comes to your mind.
Performances in a film.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah, I am thinking of Philip Seymour Hoffman, but just because I feel like he gave so much to every film that he did, and obviously if we're still piggybacking off Synecdoche, New York, that's a dense watch.
Sure. What's your favorite cinema to go to?
I was thinking about this. I think me and you have had many great times at Everyman Hampstead.
Yep.
Everyman Barnet. We've done
even Belsize Park.
But me and you
Oswell Hill. Everyman.
We've had a lot of great cinema experiences together in Everyman.
What's a bad film that you love?
Yeah, great question. Bad film that I love. Yeah, the stuff like the Project X, Rush Hour, any 21, 22 Jump Street.
Those are great.
No, they're great films.
They're great.
I
films.
agree.
I disagree.
I think they're great films. That's what I'm saying.
What's a bad film that you love? Was like it's just shit, but like you're like, oh, this is I kind of still love this. I mean, Project X is a good example.
Project X is a great film.
Yeah,
Project X is a great film.
Okay,
that's a 5-star movie.
I mean, it's a glorified over-sexualized music video essentially, but
Project X is a 5-star movie.
All right, cool. We could do an entire episode of
it's a 5-star movie.
What is your biggest film ick or red flag?
Do you know what? Even if this the cinema's empty, don't sit in my seat.
Yeah.
I had it the other day.
How's that possible if the cinema's empty?
Bro, I had it the other day. I was going into this. Obviously, I was like, the film had just started. So the lights were all down. Obviously, the cinema wasn't packed. Obviously, you're just going to your row because the film's empty. Like, the screen's completely pitch black. You can't see what's going on.
Yeah.
And I sit down and I look to as I sit down at the end of the row because I realize my seat, there's just a guy there, feet up on this, munching popcorn. And then the whole film, I was watching Weapons. Yeah. The guy, obviously, Weapons is you need to be quiet.
You need to respect.
Bro, I've just got a guy on my left, like munching popcorn, feet up. It was, and I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I'm not that guy, but that's as close as I've ever been to like.
Be like, bro,
what's going on here?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. So you just sat somewhere else, right?
No, bro. Because I was already late to the film, innit? I didn't want to get up again. I was like, let me just sit through it.
Yeah.
Wrong decision. I should have moved.
Yeah. Oh, Fez, man. Shit. What is your biggest film green flag?
Staying to the end to see if there's credits, post-credit scene.
That's a green flag.
Yeah, 100%. I love it.
What, like with every film, with some films?
I think that you shouldn't search up. You should just sit towards the end of the credit, and if you think there's going to be one, take the risk.
Yeah, but are you basically saying that you should just sit and watch, or like just sit and admire?
Yeah, enjoy the credits, and then hope
regardless of whether or not there's a okay, gotcha. That's actually a pretty good one. What's your favorite film score?
Do you know what I really enjoyed last year? This what was the film Emma Stone?
Poor Things. Yeah.
I really enjoyed that score.
It's like the pluckiness of...
It was, I'm going to butcher his name. It was like Jerskin Phoenix or something like that. But incredible. I do think back to a lot. Me and you, there's two... this is a bit more of a long-winded answer.
But go for it.
Me and you, within a very short space of time, we watched Licorice Pizza in the cinema.
Yeah.
And we watched Cooper Rafe's
Cha Cha Real Smooth.
Cha Cha Real Smooth. Now, these aren't soundtracks, but the
no, they are soundtracks, not scores.
The soundtracks to them, the song selection of those two films was incredible for me. And yeah,
great. Horror or comedy?
Comedy.
Sci-fi or fantasy?
Sci-fi.
Blockbuster or indie?
Indie.
What's a film you wish you watched in the cinema?
Dali, Muswell Hill, October 15th. I got that right. Dali, October 15th, Muswell Hill. That is one you will not want to miss.
For those of you who are wondering what Dali is a new feature debut by our good friend Mickey Angelov, who was on the previous episode. If you look back, who's a very dear friend of ours, and he's just made his first feature film, and it's he's managed to get it into Everyman. So there are still a few tickets left. So definitely go and check it out.
15th of October.
Exactly.
Well worth the watch.
There's a plug for you. And so I'll leave. Actually, I'll leave all the relevant links in the description box below. But that's a good one. Who's a director whose work you want to watch more of?
Do you know what? I've not done a lot of Wong Kar-wai.
Wong Kar-wai, yeah.
Wong Kar-wai. But again, they're not as readily accessible on like streaming. No. But
the Prince Charles is always showing Wong Kar-wai films. So 100% recommending that. If you're stuck on a desert island, what 4 films would you take with you?
Desert island. We don't want to get into no depressive vibes.
Sure.
So we're gonna we'll have one of the Rush Hours. We'll have
which one?
You want 2, so we'll take 2.
No, it's your choice.
No. We'll take Rush Hour 2. We'll take 22 Jump. 20. No.
And then yeah.
We'll take 22 Jump Street. We'll take Project X, and we'll take. I need a laugh. Oh, Naked Gun. The original Naked Gun.
Have you seen the new one?
No.
Apparently it's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
I loved the original.
I didn't know that you liked the Naked Gun.
I'm not really a laugh out loud cinema person, and actually it's another red flag. People that laugh too much in the cinema. But
that's a good one.
Personally, but Naked Gun, I remember watching it in the cinema. I laughed, and I don't laugh at movies.
Yeah,
I laughed. So, yeah.
Fair enough. And finally, Isaac, what is your most anticipated film for the rest of 2025?
The one with The Rock coming out.
The Smashing Machine.
Smashing Machine. Yeah.
Josh Safdie.
I really...
Josh or Benny Safdie?
I think it was Ben Safdie.
Benny Safdie, yeah.
But I'm hoping that one lives up to the
canned hype.
The sort of, the canned
Venice hype. Yeah. Good stuff. Well, there you go, guys. That was some quickfire questions with Mr. Isaac Strange here. Of course, guys, the reason why Isaac's on the couch, I'm in front of the mics again, and I'm wearing a very kind of specific shirt.
Leo-esque.
Yeah. Well, I tried my best to find something that in some way resembled the film. And if you've seen any of the marketing of the film, Leo is essentially in this kind of, checkered red and black checkered robe. That's essentially his look. I can definitely see a lot of Halloween outfits, definitely being inspired by his look here. But of course, the film we're referring to is One Battle After Another, directed, of course, by the one and only Paul Thomas Anderson. Mm-hmm. Wow. This is a film. So Paul Thomas Anderson has spent nearly 3 decades redefining American cinema. From the sprawling sort of ensembles of Boogie Nights and Magnolia to the raw intensity of There Will Be Blood to the intimate sort of precision of something like Phantom Thread. His latest, One Battle After Another, pushes that fascination with conflict into new territory. So One Battle After Another is this kind of part political drama, part screwball comedy, part blockbuster. When an old enemy resurfaces after 16 years, a group of ex-revolutionaries reunite to rescue one of their own's daughter. On the surface, it's pulp. In Wes Anderson's hands, it becomes a layered meditation on fractured loyalties, buried histories, and the battles that refuse to stay buried. This is something I wrote, and I realized it's not so good for podcast chat because it's so sort of review and formal-esque, but I've just kind of read some lines that I've written down.
Also, Wes Anderson had nothing to do with the film.
Did I say Wes Anderson? Did I say Wes Anderson?
Wes Anderson's hands. I was like, what? I didn't know he was on it.
Yeah. A lot of people have been telling me I've been killing it in the intro department recently with a lot of films, but this was not my finest moment, I will say. But that's a little bit of an idea of what you can expect from One Battle After Another. Of course, if you are watching or listening to this episode, I would have hoped that you will have already seen the film because we are going to be talking spoilers. So that is your warning going ahead. We are going to be talking all things about the plot, the characters, etc. So please go and check out the film and come back to this discussion at a later time. We both very much recommend.
I think it's worth saying though that I don't think this film is really spoiler. Even if you know everything that happens, it is still just worth watching. You miss nothing. You don't lose anything for knowing what happens, in my opinion. Yeah,
true. But also, like, I went into this film not really knowing what to expect. I mean, my new sort of process with going into any new anticipated releases to really try and stay away from trailers or plot or anything like that, to really go into it with a fresh mind. I think you can definitely benefit. I think you should do that with all films, but I do get what you're saying. Like, even if you know beat for beat what the film is, there's still so much to unpack there.
Yeah.
Right. So The film, of course, guys, stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Sean Penn, Tiana Taylor, Chase Infinity, Benicio del Toro, and Regina Hall, amongst others. And in this episode, Isaac and I are going to be breaking down the film and dig into essentially how Paul Thomas Anderson turns what's essentially a rescue mission, a film about a rescue mission, into what I would say is perhaps one of his most urgent, definitely most ambitious works yet. Would you agree?
Most ambitious?
I think so. I mean, purely in terms of scale, like this is the biggest he's done.
100%.
Yeah. So myself and Isaac, as of when we're recording this, earlier this week, at the start of this week, we attended the Warner Brothers multimedia screening of the film One Battle After Another at the Odeon Lux in Leicester Square. This is a cinema that I've been to quite a few times. Had you been to this before?
No.
I'd been to a couple times before, but it's never like my go-to. My go-to in Leicester Square is always the IMAX, right? But some of you might not know, but the Odeon Lux in Leicester Square is one of the only 3 locations in the world that you can watch this film in VistaVision. Now, what is VistaVision? So, to sort of summarize without going into it too much, VistaVision essentially is a type of film format that runs horizontally as opposed to vertically. And what essentially that does is it gives a larger scope or size, a higher resolution frame. And it gives essentially a sharper, more detailed, and arguably more immersive visual. And it is perfect for sort of epic kind of landscapes and action sequences, both of which are very prevalent in this film. So we had the amazing opportunity to watch this film in VistaVision. And I thought it was incredible, like just to see like how much the colors popped and just sort of, I thought it was really, really wonderful. And I think just purely because of that, this is an experience, cinema experience I will remember for a long, long time. But of course, just in general, I thought it was such a great night spent at the movies.
I find it, I'm always not skeptical, but I think now you see a lot of things from a sales perspective, right? Of like, you have to watch this film in
IMAX. Yeah,
you have to, that you can't do without. And I'm always like, my Cineworld Unlimited card. I'm like, I'll take my 2D screening. I'm not, I'm personally enjoy watching movies on my phone. I know to you that is like a no. This is just, I believe in the consumer should be able to consume how they want to consume. However, with that said, obviously, I think in the VistaVision case, and it wasn't until I researched afterwards a lot, and I think it's IndieWire that do a great article, and they've got a great diagram explaining all the differences between this film. Which is definitely worth reading, and you can look at the graphic of why VistaVision is different and better. But like, this is one of those things that I'm like, if you are in London, if you are able to go to Odeon Lux and just see it as intended, this is one of those times that I'm like, but only because the VistaVision film is that they're not digitizing it, they're running the film.
It's a proper projector, film projector with VistaVision. It's a VistaVision projector. They've
edited it together. It is as close to from the camera to the movie as you can get, and I do think I'm like, from what the articles I've read, there's not been a VistaVision film out for a long time. Yeah, a lot of people confuse this with The Brutalist that came out. Late last year, which was it was also shot on VistaVision, but it wasn't. I'm sure some cinemas might have screened it in VistaVision, but because there are so few of them, it wasn't something that was hugely advertised as you need to go and see this in VistaVision. But this one, it definitely is. And I think if you care about like genuinely having that experience where you are really able to absorb everything that's going on screen in the way that Paul Thomas Anderson has intended, I would definitely recommend it. And even if you're not, just to be able to say, do you know what? I watched the film in one of only 3 cinemas
in the world. Yeah.
And I was able to see something the way it was intended, even if you're not into cameras, even if you're not into how like films are made and you just want to watch a great movie.
Yeah.
this is one of those experiences.
Yeah.
It's like watching your favorite band live. It's like, why would you not want to see them?
That's a great analogy. I will say, and we will get back to the film very quickly, so I'll leave it with this. Yesterday, as when we're recording this, myself and Clara basically spent the entire day at the Prince Charles Cinema in Leicester Square. And of course, the Prince Charles Cinema is one of the most, if not, I would even argue, the most beloved cinema in London. You know, it's a place for cinephiles and for people who are just getting into film. But what is so special, but one of the most special things about the Prince Charles is their film presentations. They have projectors that project 35mm film and 70mm film, and when you go to watch those films, specifically films that are made by filmmakers like Paul Thomas Anderson who shoot on film, just the projection of it is second to none. Yesterday, I watched Magnolia, Paul Thomas Anderson's Magnolia, and Paul Thomas Anderson's There Will Be Blood, more or less back to back. And when I tell you, like, you really do feel that a difference. The colors just pop so much more. You feel almost in a lot of ways transported back to a time, especially with the case of There Will Be Blood. All the grains and everything. It's a gorgeous presentation, and I feel like once you've seen a film on 35mm or 70mm or even VistaVision in this case, there is a sort of longing to definitely go back and do that with more films, I would say. So that's kind of what I will leave you on.
I think the other angle to that as well is this film holds up in any format.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to your opinion of what you thought of the IMAX version.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm like, it will offer a different experience.
Absolutely.
But the film will hold up. Just watch the film.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. So again, as when we're recording, we've both seen the film just the one time.
Just one time.
I've got plans to go see it with Clara and some friends this coming Friday upon release. We're going to the IMAX. I'm going to get a sort of bigger, more bold, kind of brasher kind of experience with that.
Will you watch VistaVision again? Will you do that?
If I can. And it depends if I think a third watch of the film is warranted within, you know, if I have the time to go back. But I'm excited to check it out for a second time. We'll get into that in a little bit. Yeah, so an amazing night at the movies. How was your first multimedia screening? Like, just aside from the VistaVision.
Oh, incredible. I think I watch a lot of films, and I watch a lot of film in different formats. I am just a watch films however you can watch them, right? And obviously you're much more of a purist man of like cinema, like properly done, and I respect it. But as I said, I believe in consumer can consume how they want to.
If the story in the film is good, it should hold up.
It should hold up. You can listen to music on bad headphones. Obviously, better headphones is a better, same sort of vibe, isn't it? But good art holds up. Good art transcends the whole medium. But I really enjoyed the theatre experience. What I enjoyed most was being around a bunch of people that just love film for their own reasons. Yeah. And not necessarily all PTA like diehard fans. You know, this is I assume much more of like the people who write up stuff or make content based on, you know, it's not PTA dependent. This isn't one of like a, but with that, what I'm trying to say is you just get more opinions. You got a lot of people. I liked coming out of that cinema. I heard a lot of people be like, best film of the year. And I heard a lot of people being like, yeah, it was all right. But that was really nice, because I think that's not an experience you're going to get too often. You know? That was an exclusive event. And I think for that, all I can say is thank you, Dylan. And thank you, Warner Bros.
Hey. You're welcome, Matt. No. I mean, I had to ask you because, I mean, we have this ongoing joke about film club. It's like me and Isaac's basically special time at the cinema when it's just the two of us who go and watch. It's the film club. But the first film club, sort of when it was sort of established as this joke between the two of us, the pair of us actually went to an Everyman to watch Licorice Pizza. That was the first film that we watched in film club of recent years.
Was it our first?
It was.
Wow.
It was. So now, obviously, with PTA's next film, here we are. And also, again, very quickly, when we were at the screening, I was going around saying hello to various amazing film people, content creators, etc. There's a point where Isaac was like,
"Where are you going with this?"
Oh my God, Dylan, don't make it bait.
No,
Stephen Fry.
This is not making the edit.
Stephen Fry.
This is not making the edit.
Behind you. Don't make it bait. I turned around. I was like, bro, Isaac, that's not Stephen Fry, bro. It's Jonathan Ross. All right.
Look. If this does make the edit, which I will fight that it doesn't. I am sure everyone has those two people that they always mix up.
Yeah,
actors.
of course.
When I was a kid, Matt Damon, Leonardo DiCaprio. I used to mix them up when I was a kid.
Okay.
And there's always like names in it.
Sure.
It always happens.
Yeah.
This was one of those moments for me.
That being said, you did spot someone else.
Yeah. Life of Chuck this year was a great movie for me. I really enjoyed it. Dylan less so.
I didn't love it as much. I appreciated the film for certain things, but a lot of people seem to have been really touched by it.
But carry on. But
essentially, Chiwetel Ejiofor was sitting behind us, which was kind of crazy. And Isaac was like, "Oh my god, it's Isaac, Dylan, we know him.
The guy, man.
It's the guy,
He's
yeah.
that guy, like."
He was sitting behind us. I think he was having a great time. He was munching popcorn. Chiwetel, if you're watching, big fans, man. Chiwetel. Right. Anyway, should we actually talk about the film? Should we talk about the film? Sorry. All right. So, verdict on One Battle After Another. How are you feeling about it?
So, with not being a short answer man,
go on.
I feel very, very positive about it. And the answer to your question that I have here is, I'm like, everything that me and Dylan will say about this is only worth mentioning. We have only seen this once. I think this film warrants more than one time of viewing, like, in my opinion. And I have my reasons why. But ultimately, my short verdict is this is a great movie, and mostly because you have all the PTA stuff that you want, right? But then also for people who, this is obviously, they're trying to make this a blockbuster, right? And it's a big budget, big ideas, right? Correct or not?
Yeah, it's definitely part blockbuster. I would say, like, to describe it as like just a full-on blockbuster is doing a kind of, I think, a disservice to. But and I don't mean that I don't mean a blockbuster is a bad thing. I just think that it is so much more than just a blockbuster. It has the theatrics of a blockbuster, but it also has this kind of, it also has the feeling of, as any PTA film, of, you know, an independent film and a story that, you know, reveals again a lot about the human condition, essentially.
This is why I think this film, my verdict is why I think this film worked, is because they have done a really hard thing here of how can you get the PTA fans, all the people that want the film, you know, all the film buff guy. How do you get them? But how do you also just get the casual cinema goer who just wants to see a good movie and doesn't really care about PTA's film discography or filmography and PTA's like all their running themes and, you know, like, how many people know about Thomas Pynchon?
Well, speaking of which, so Thomas Pynchon, this film is an adaptation of Thomas Pynchon's Vineland, and this is Paul Thomas Anderson's second Pynchon collaboration after Inherent Vice. Inherent Vice is the only PTA film I haven't seen, but you managed to sort of check it out a little bit.
I watched it
last night.
Yeah, on my phone. But
without spoiling anything, I asked you in the car, like, do you feel like that has informed you a little bit more?
100%.
How so?
100%. I think the best way to describe this, right? So I've read Pynchon. I've not read the two novels that these two movies were one loosely adapted on. But Inherent Vice was a much more faithful adaptation from what my research has shown.
Sure.
But again, this is without me reading it. But whereas this film, One Battle After Another, is much more of a free reign at it.
Takes elements.
Takes the core theme of father-daughter or dual father and daughter relationship, right? But is much more different character names, different thing, and is not much more of a faithful adaptation. I think the thing to mention with that is Thomas Pynchon is an author's author. He is a very densely written, like, man. Like, he's
got a lot to say.
He makes complex books. He writes really well, and he's just very much an author's author, and is so worth reading. And actually, this is one of those things that I'm like, oh, more people reading Pynchon is never a bad thing, in my opinion. But this film itself is a much less faithful render of it. But I think it's worth saying that the reason why them two work so well together is that when you read Pynchon and when you watch PTA stuff, you see where these two, like, there's similarities in the sense of they just managed to pack so much density and complex themes into, like, a story, into which sometimes comes off as wacky, sometimes comes off as really political, sometimes comes off as funny, sometimes just comes off as like an action. But like they packed a lot into this film in the same way Pynchon does in his books.
Sure, yeah. I mean, again, I haven't read any of Pynchon's his books, but speaking just behalf of what I've seen of PTA, he's always a filmmaker who asks so many questions of the audiences, and he takes almost these. For me, anytime I watch a PTA film, I think he's anything but conventional in his approach. I think he takes big ideas, and if you want to say like almost mainstream ideas, but there's always something ever so slightly off kilter about those stories, right? Like when you look at something as complex as Magnolia and you have all these sprawling storylines, and each of those characters represent something different about the human condition. Or if you're talking about There Will Be Blood and the kind of commentary on sort of capitalism and religion and how those two things intertwine. And then if you look at something like One Battle After Another, what do you feel like this film is about at its core?
I would say what happens after the revolution.
Right.
Little White Lies. I read a great article from them. But,
okay.
But they said that in one of the things. But I was like, that is the best way to sum it up. What happens after the revolution? And I'm like, and I think then the film goes into so much more depth than that. But that is the shortest and sweetest sum up that I've heard. But I'm like, yeah, I think that's correct.
Yeah, great point. I mean, the film is obviously. A lot of people have said this, but it does very much hold a mirror up to what is essentially modern day contemporary America, and specifically the political situation going on in America. And I feel like when this film does come out, and I think it has by the time you're probably watching this or listening to this, a lot of people are going to have a lot of opinions on a lot of different things, just because of how politically constructed it is, I feel. There's elements of, again, like, the story is about, and it kicks off with this whole sort of kind of prologue of these far left revolutionaries. Leonardo DiCaprio's character Bob was one of these people. He was known as Rocket Man, I think, or something like that, and he had a sort of talent for
explosives,
explosives and fireworks, and he was his love interest at the time, played by Tiana Taylor. Is very much a person who's completely and solely driven by the idea of revolution, and she knows no other way of life, and she's essentially born through a bloodline of revolutionists herself, and for her, there is no other purpose in this world. So the first kind of 30, I would say, or 40 minutes, I think, was like some of the strongest parts of the book. It was just incredible to watch, like just how the film sucks you in and kind of paints this kind of warfare-esque picture of what America is and has kind of always been. And there is such sort of fire in that first act, especially Tiana Taylor. I mean, what a performance. She is a complete force of nature, and she is in the film for more or less about 30-40 minutes. And you never see her again. Yet you always feel like her presence is almost haunting the film throughout.
She becomes a figure. And wow, like I've never seen her in anything before. I'm not sure if you have, but like goddamn, like what a performance. The film opens with this kind of prologue of Leo and her back in the day, and then how Sean Penn's character becomes sort of intertwined in this kind of conflict, and he's representative of the far right extremist. He's a colonel Lockjaw, his name is, and the three of them almost have this kind of internal conflict and drama going on between the three of them, romanticism and relationship and clashing of relationships essentially, and how their actions essentially cause an onslaught of consequences that come and are revealed throughout the film, ultimately of which Chase Infinity, who's the daughter of, it's later discovered, which we sort of already kind of knew or was hinted at, is the daughter of Tiana Taylor's character and Sean Penn's, but is the almost adoptive daughter of Leo's character. And how she's kind of trying to, for me, what I took away from the film was how do you navigate a world in which the consequences of previous generations have massively been passed down to you? How do you bear the unbearable weight of such
such consequences. And again, on the performances, I mean, this has some of the strongest performances I've seen all year. I'd be very surprised if not many of these people were nominated come award season next year. I mean, Leo, for me, felt like quite refreshing to see. I mean, his character here is quite similar to a lot of his more recent roles. You know, the kind of, he has this kind of chaotic frenziness about him, and he can never kind of catch a break in this character. You were going to say?
Don't Look Up.
Exactly, Don't Look Up. But here, what I found really refreshing is with, unlike those characters, which I struggled to really kind of find a huge amount of empathy for, that is so prevalent here with his characters. At the end of the day, in this film, Bob is a character who just wants to find his daughter. And that's, I think, very much at the core of this film, regardless of how politically constructed it is. That's the story that PTA is, I think, telling. That very simple concept, but very powerful, I would say.
Yeah. No, I think to add to that,
yeah.
I think it's worth saying that there is no question about it that it's Leo's the dad.
Yeah.
You know, Chase Infinity is his daughter.
Yeah.
Right. And Colonel Lockjaw, Sean Penn,
is her biological.
Is an evil man.
Yeah, absolutely.
An evil man.
Yeah.
There's no, and I think when you put aside on this film, it's a very politically charged film. There's so many great like themes and like sequences going on of loads of different things, right? But if you want to part that to the side for a sec and genuinely look at the father-daughter relationship, I think because you said earlier, it's like, you know, Leo becomes a sort of adoptive dad. I'm like, well, yeah, you're right, technically.
He is absolutely her father.
There's no question that he's the adoptive dad. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and even when I don't think it ever shows him finding out that.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Not the real dad.
Yeah.
Whether or not he knows or ever finds out, or Chase. What's Chase Infinity's character called?
Chase Infinity's character is called Willa.
I don't know if Willa ever tells him or if that's ever. But like, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
I think the whole thing about this is that when you look at it from a father-daughter perspective and what the story really gets at there, and from that segment of it, which is one way of looking at the film. It's just beautiful. It's a beautiful way, but there's no question. There's no question on it, you know?
Well, it's interesting you say it doesn't matter, because at one point in the film, it was going to matter.
Yeah.
That was a very much a crucial part of the film where, you know, Sean Penn and Chase Infinity, I'm referring to them by their actors' names because, you know, just for the sake of conversation. Yeah. But it was a very crucial point in the film. Like, was she his daughter or not? But then I think there's another question of like, do you choose like who are your real parents? Are they the ones that you are born biologically, or are they the ones you choose, essentially? And she makes a choice essentially to not let that define her, or not let her biological father define who she is, but also come to terms that there are similar things within her. I would say that she has definitely taken down from her biological parents, like her mother, like Sean Penn. And I think she does a really, and this is her debut film. Chase Infinity's never been in anything before, as far as I know.
Tyler, the Creator music video.
Tyler, the Creator, a music video. But this is her first feature film. And I think she just beautifully and so delicately kind of finds that balance between this real innocence, but also like the ferocity that comes with a revolutionist, I would say.
And finding out that your whole entire life is not a lie, because Leonardo DiCaprio's character has obviously become this paranoid man who's raised her on that, but obviously she's just been raised on this, my dad's just a bit weird, you know. But then to find out, wait, my dad was telling the truth the whole time, and then actually have to, there's a lot of emotional weight to have to deal with, especially when you're being hunted down. I think that character portrayal, because on the one hand she's the most important character, and on the other hand, like she's much, again, a figure of, actually it's which I think what the film does so well is that it's everyone, and the story and the way it just throws you into it of what had happened in the, you know, when with these French 75, with the freedom fighters, that she is nothing to do with that, but a byproduct of it, and therefore takes on the weight of that entire world without ever having been there, without ever having any actual, I don't say importance, but in sense of, she wasn't a fighter. Obviously towards the end she wants to take on the cause, but she wasn't part of any of that. She didn't ask to be thrown into this world and was just chucked in. And I think that's another just segment on that father-daughter thing, or parental and child thing of like, you can't choose your parents, and you're just right there in it, and you have to kind of just make the most of what you can, basically. And I think the film very nicely kind of concludes on that note.
which I thought was quite nice. I think we came out of the cinema thinking maybe the ending was a little too nicely wrapped up. I feel like if we had one...
Well, let me ask you.
Sure.
As you've sat with this film now, and again, it's worth mentioning, we've only seen this film once.
Yeah.
But how in the last few days has it weighed up for you as an entire thing? How has the ending for you weighed up?
I think the ending for me has actually gotten better. I feel like for me, so Isaac and me, we left the screening, we went to Chinatown, we had dinner, and we were talking about the film, and we were arguing about the film, and my point was, I don't feel like the film was necessarily super political. And what I mean by that is I feel like when you watch a lot of films, there's this overarching message or theme that the filmmaker is trying to basically show you or tell you, something about this is wrong or whatever. I don't feel like this film necessarily does that. I don't think it is a overtly political film, but instead I think what it does really well is paint a picture of politics and the political situation in contemporary America, and I think it does it really well. But I don't think it comes across at any point as something that's trying to necessarily shove an agenda down your throat, your mouth, shove an agenda over you. And I think PTA has always been a filmmaker who invites the audience to ask questions, but also just take what they feel like they should from the film. But then, like, he's not someone who tells an audience member how to think, is what I'm saying. He's a kind of like, let me meet you. I'm going to give you this. What do you think about that? That's what I love about PTA. I think the film, in the end, becomes this sort of message about sort of finding your way in a world that is so kind of broken and damaged. And I found it quite poignant in the end. And I actually thought that the ending kind of, the more I sat with it, kind of got better for me. But yeah, when I say I don't feel like the film is necessarily overtly political, I mean, sure, like, it's clear, like, PTA, I think, if I was to assume, he's slightly more, he's more left-leaning, because there are a lot of elements in this film that do definitely satirize American politics. If you look at these far right, supremacists, there's a lot of comedy that comes with that. And he's showing us as an audience, or he's showing essentially everyone, how stupid and how silly and how just abhorrently wrong that ideology is. And if you want to take that as a sort of like like he's making a statement about them, that's great. I just think that he's a filmmaker who doesn't necessarily spoon feed you any kind of huge ideas, but instead invites you to ask questions, essentially. That's what I think. But go ahead.
I came away from it thinking this film is incredibly politically charged. But I think it's the reason why this film works, and this reason why this film is so good, is that whatever you're looking for in it, you will find it. If you want to look for all of the current world themes, and obviously you can compare them to other PTA, he's really good at creating the worlds, right? And obviously Boogie Nights is 70s.
Yeah, 70s. 60s,
we've got Master, which is
the Master
he really knows how to build out like decades and people, right? And what I think, barring obviously the first act, which is when they were freedom fighting, obviously then they skip into modern day. I think he really paints in a satirical way, but in a great way, modern day life.
Absolutely.
That on the one hand, I would say is dystopian. On the other hand, I'm like,
it's exactly what it's like.
I don't know how far off it that.
Oh yeah, it's it's very I would say it's very symmetrical. Like, and I think that's also why the film is so relevant. But when usually when you say a film, it's so relevant to our times today, you usually mean kind of films that kind of like really try and be a statement about political times. But again, I just feel like with PTA, he doesn't sort of spoon feed you that. But he's also just made a really damn good film that you can kind of just enjoy. This is it, irrespective of time and place. Essentially, if you want
to go look for all of the themes there, you will find it. There is so much imagery. There is so much like storytelling on so many different sides of people, because there's just so many great, well built out characters in it. But if you're just going for a funny film, it's a very funny film.
It's hilarious.
If you're going for an action film, there's enough action for you. If you're going just for a good, you know what, I just want to see, and this is why I think it will be successful from a commercial standpoint is because he does tie the bow on it. He does give it a nice bow at the end of, there's a happy ending, or as happy an ending as you can get. Like, he ties it up nicely. And I think for those people that just like, oh, that was so much, but like, and imagine if he doesn't finish it, he leaves it on something, they're like, oh, I didn't really like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, he gives everyone everything that they want, and I don't think that anything is missing there, which I think is such a hard balance, which is why I think this film is so good, because he's balanced so much, which is why
he's able to,
we need to watch it again, because when you look, and I think on a second watch, third watch, you will see there's a lot of imagery there. If when you start looking at
it. Like there's you know, these huge sprawling sort of sequences, but also like I feel like the middle act of this film is almost like this one big sequence that just never stops. It's like so like the camera is constantly moving, and you're constantly sort of following Leo and Benicio del Toro.
Can we talk about Benicio?
Yeah, let's do it. What a guy.
For me,
what a guy.
Off the top of your head, Dills, on the top of, I mean, this is a separate question, but I want to talk about Benicio del Toro, right?
Yeah.
I'll tell you mine real quick. My standout scene that I still think back to, bro, my favorite scene of the entire movie, if I had to just pick one, him getting arrested by the feds at the end, dancing, music's going on. It was, but genuinely, it summed up his entire character as the sensei, a selfless man who's just, nothing fazed him. His entire world was getting blown apart, right? He still had enough time and energy to help a friend who wasn't even paying any attention to what was going on, because he was just preoccupied with finding his daughter, and he still had it. He still had it to save what he was working on, what he was trying to save Leo D.
Yeah.
Best character for me that stuck with me, because not even because he was the main man, but he was the main man.
Oh, yeah. He was just the guy. Like, you know, and again, nothing really phases him. I feel like a lot of people, like, if you really want to look into it and like look at like how realistic that kind of character would be in a situation like that, maybe it's not like that. Maybe that is the most kind of theatrical of characters in the entire film, where you can look at him like, that guy's the coolest person in the room for sure. But it also just really works in the context of the film, you know, like, and I think ultimately what his character kind of represents, if you really want to look at it like that, it's just the idea of just kind of being there for each other. I don't know, it sounds very cheesy and very kind of, you know, straightforward, but it's sometimes lost on us about how, you know, just the world is going to shit, but then and we all just look out for ourselves. But what we need to do is look out for others, I think. And not to sound like I'm preaching or anything like that, but I thought that was, if I was going to take anything poignant away from that character and his actions throughout the film, just help other people. Like, it's just as simple as that. And he's just brilliant in everything he does. I think he's one of the greatest actors. I think when all is said and done, I think Benicio del Toro will go down as one of the greats, if he's not already. I think every single role that he takes on is just like something otherworldly, but also he never makes it look, he makes it look so easy. He just makes it look so easy, and it's brilliant.
And it was an effortless character.
And
I think that he added the best comedic moments.
Yes.
He added the best moments, as you were saying, of like, what's the takeaway here? The world's gone terror. The world's gone mad. What's the takeaway here? He offers us something there.
Yeah.
He offers us the coolest character. He offers us the one, like, question for you. If anyone, silly question, but if anyone of this movie you'd want to see a spin-off,
that's a great question.
Who would you watch?
Definitely Benicio. I mean, I guess you have an entire movie there about the Gulf of Mexico, like right there for you. And technically, he's already done that with Denis, with Sicario and all that stuff, but playing a very different character. But yeah, absolutely. Like, I want to know who that person is, or maybe I don't. I don't know. But he's just so brilliant as a screen presence. And I think also throughout the film, the way him and Leo almost complement each other. Leo's just there, just losing his shit. Very funny, very comedic. And Benicio's like, bro, like, chill. Like, we got this. Yeah. It's all good. Everything's going to be okay. You just need to jump out of this car right now. And it's hilarious, but it's like,
he didn't even offer, bro, my world's going well. Like he didn't even offer that. He was just like, it's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. Don't worry.
Yeah.
You want my gun? Here's my gun. Incredible.
Yeah. Sean Penn, though. A lot of people are coming out this film saying, I mean, if anyone's going to be nominated, it's going to be him. That's what a lot of people are saying. I think he gives the best villain performance of the year for sure.
100%.
I think it's interesting. Obviously, you said at the start, like, this is just a very, very evil man. And he is. He definitely is. But with PTA, it's never about painting a character as sort of just as kind of straightforward as that. He's someone who is very kind of sexually repressed in a lot of ways, and someone who is painted as very also lonely and isolated. He doesn't seem to have a lot of human connection, and there is this built up kind of rage that he has, which will explain why he does a lot of a lot of the sinister things that he does. And I think the film is also about like just people searching for each other or searching for themselves. Like Leo's trying to find Chase Infinity is trying to find Leo. Benicio's there looking out for Leo, but has this huge kind of
his whole operation. He has his whole operation.
It's about a daughter trying to find, in some ways, a little bit of a mother in there, and Sean Penn is trying to find. Well, what is he trying to find?
Are you sympathetic to Colonel Lockjaw?
I'm not sympathetic.
No, from the character, did you walk away from that being like, I feel for him? Like,
to say I feel for him is, I wouldn't go that far.
Mm-hmm.
I would just say that I don't think he's painted as just pure evil, because I feel like the character like that, it's very much instinctual with him. Like it's just like he thinks joining the Christmas club will give him a sense of something. Like it will provide him with something.
He said it's a purpose higher than him.
Right. He that's what he believes. But at the end of the day, he's just trying to find a sense of fulfillment. And I think I'm justifying a very, very terrible person here, but I just think that character in of itself is a whole case study there as well. From the first moment you kind of see him and meet him, he's kind of looking at Tiana Taylor like, completely objectifying her.
He's in love. He loved her.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think he's an interesting character, and I'm completely disgusted by him, but at the same time, that's why he's such a great character, because there are all these kind of questions. And I think Sean Penn as well is what a performance, man. Like he's just everything about his kind of mannerisms to his tick, the way he walks, and like everything that is just it's a very physical performance. And I think he's just brilliant. Go on.
So I think it's worth explaining, right, very briefly, that his whole character, right, as a army man, he's basically the villain, right? But he's the one who was pulling apart the freedom fighters. He that's his whole thing. But then
the counter-revolution.
Very, very, very quickly, he for all his great work in the army, gets an invitation to join a
Christmas club,
which is a white supremacist organization, right?
Yeah.
And he gets that option. And again, army man, it's all about the establishment. This is for him as his higher purpose, his higher calling. Awful stuff. But that then becomes his next thing, right, in modern day. But obviously, this is why he goes on down to hunt Chase Infinity, because he knows that's his daughter, but he has to doubly make sure he has to cover his tracks, because he can't be getting accepted into the white supremacist organization, right? But so that's his whole thing. That's why he's on the hunt. That's
yeah.
So all of that said, I say those words out loud. I'm like, one awful man. What the film does, right? Not from a sympathetic standpoint, but what the film does is that you then get to see him as a character, and then this is why then all these little intricacies that you're talking about, the way he walks, the way he is, even his haircuts, but like he's even to the bit. My question for you here in all of this is that now with the thing explained, do you feel like in its own twisted way they had their father-daughter moment in the scene where he has her tied up in the chair in the monastery?
Yeah.
But do you feel like they had that, because the little jokes like, why is your shirt so tight? Do you see what I'm saying? Do you feel like PTA got that moment where he was like,
absolutely,
their father?
Absolutely. I feel like it's Leo and him are almost two polar opposites.
Yeah.
And he's everything Leo isn't, and Leo is everything he isn't. And that there is something quite as horrible of a situation that was.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
And ridiculous of a situation it was. There was also something very kind of familiar in the parental sort of presence there, in a way. Does that make sense? Like almost like he's completely repulsed by the idea of this, but there's also something he can't really help in that moment. Take a stance of a father, even if he doesn't really want
this is it. Do you feel like he had a moral dilemma, which obviously he ends up he can't kill her himself. But do you see that moral dilemma within his character there? That
absolutely,
he knows he needs to kill her,
but
he can't do it himself, and it's sort of like look at that moral, like, I can't do it because that's my daughter, and he has that amount of moral.
Yeah.
Like,
he's done all these insane things, but there's this one thing he can't do.
So he just shoves it off to the next person.
Right. Yeah.
But did you see with him, from a father perspective, did you see the emotion that I think I saw? Did you see an emotional man there, that his sort of kryptonite in its own way?
Absolutely, that was his kryptonite scene, 100%. Like, I feel like I felt in that scene, I never felt like she was in real danger because of how vulnerable he was in that moment, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
She's got him on lock, bro. She's got him on lock. She's the one in handcuffs, yet she's the one.
It's
it's really interesting. Yeah. I think it's also because I watched Magnolia yesterday, and I don't know if anyone's seen Magnolia. Tom Cruise's character as well, in a weird way. He's this character. Basically, he just puts on a show at all the times, but when he's faced with a family figure, completely breaks down. And I feel like that's kind of if you want to play it as empathy, or if you want to play it as the very small portion of morality that they may or may not possess, that is the thing that they both have in common in a lot of ways.
I think what Colonel Lockjaw does so good is that he is as close to a cartoon villain as you will get, but as in from everything, his name, the way he walks, the way he like every scene he is in, I just think he's hilarious. He's such a great performance, but it really does bring you back down to earth with these very small moments that you're like, this is ridiculous, but he's still human.
But I get this is the brilliance of PTAs, because you can have a character as evil and as maniacal as that, but still he wants you to ask the questions. Do you know what I mean?
I think it's worth saying about this film, right, that you get thrown into a world that sometimes could be quite confusing. I think that's the thing about Pynchon novels, that's the thing about Inherent Vice. I think there's a similarity. There's just a lot of characters, there's a lot of stuff going on, and it just kind of gets thrown in. Same with this film to an extent. You just get thrown into all these different characters. But what he's done so well, look how long we've just spoke about Sean Penn, look how much we're speaking about Leo D, Benicio del Toro. Everyone here in their own right created their own character that could genuinely get their own spin-off if they wanted to. Like, they were just so well done in a way that sometimes films can go wrong. You throw too much at them, the audience is like, what's going on? I can't keep up. Right here with this film, everyone was so, like, as I said, how many films have you watched since you saw that film? About 5, 6?
No, not that much. 4.
4 films. But like, same with me, right? And I'm still remembering how clearly the characters of One Battle After Another, they are just so, the only word I can think of is cartoon-like. Again,
like that's the brilliance of PTA. He's always character first. Character first, story and world, and both of which he does so well, building those things. But it's always asking the questions about the characters and how you can reveal more about humans through that. And this is no different. It has the exterior of a pulpy kind of, again, screwball comedy, political drama, explosive blockbuster, but never, not for 1 second in the film, do you ever stop asking questions about characters or the characters revealing something new or interesting, or they are always the core, and they're always the center. And I think that's what makes films like One Battle After Another and PTA's filmography so engaging, so compelling, and so refreshing to see, I saw an interview moment with PTA. There's an amazing car chase sequence towards the end of the film. In terms of pure filmmaking, I have never seen a chase sequence or a sequence like that shot like that, which it kind of involves these series of sort of steep roads and 3 cars kind of going after each other. And just like the camera work and just how genuinely nail-biting that whole sequence is insane. Like, filmmaking wise, it's PTA. I think he does some of his best work here. But just going back to that car chase, there's an amazing moment that he had an interview recently I saw, which was like, it's not about the car chase, it's about the people in the car chase. And that's exactly, I think, what we're trying to reiterate is that you can have the most amazing sequences, you can have the most amazing world, you can have all these technicalities, but fundamentally, if you aren't invested in the characters themselves, no matter how good or evil they are, your film's not gonna work. Because look at what the car chase scene was. Don't get me wrong, it was so beautifully shot.
they're just going up and down hills.
Yeah.
That's it. There's no drifting. This isn't like Fast and Furious-esque. This is, but it is for as much as a blockbuster movie is, it is a chase scene. It is a big, very important moment of the movie where there is suspense. You are thinking, what's going to happen here? But look at it. As you said, it is the character work, because all they're doing up and down.
He's driving a car.
Up and down through the hills.
Yeah.
That is it.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. And again, like another sort of technical kind of aspect of the film that I do need to give a mention to is Johnny Greenwood's score. I mean...
Oh, man.
Brilliant. Like almost these kind of shards of kind of piano keys sort of mashing together to really... I felt like it was almost like this kind of sort of heartbeat of tension right the way through the film. And there's also these huge kind of real brassy moments as well, and it's like so loud and so in your face, and it's very kind of similar to his style of like There Will Be Blood and that kind of, you know, amazing work that he's done. Fantastic score here.
It's also weird. It's like what I loved most is the two when there's someone in the vicinity with the same whatever it is, the holder, the two melodies that you know, it says that comes together to make this beautiful song. But when you listen to it, it's a really eerie melody that the two make and obviously for something that's supposed to convey, no, you're safe. You know, if you see someone with this and you hear these melodies, trust them with your life. It's an eerie like set of two tones. Oh, absolutely. But that's the brilliance of it, is like when you almost like present something as wholesome and as kind of warm as a scene of like a father and a daughter rekindling or reuniting or something like that, let's say that for example, and you have a score that's telling you to think in another way. It creates an experience that is anything but conventional, but it's equally it's just brilliant. It's just so good. Speaking of music, can I give a special shout out to go ahead. The fact that PTA is using a lot of same act. You know, in the PTA, if you've never seen any PTA films, he uses a lot of the same actors, and they all come in and out. But it's wonderful. But what I'm loving here is his the same way that he reads good literature, he puts on good musicians, and I think Dijon's performance in this is great. I think that Miss Haim back again after Licorice Pizza. Alana Haim. Alana Haim getting that. Who else? We got Tiana Taylor. Like obviously the most obvious one. We also have a shout out to I've completely forgotten his name and I don't want to get my phone out. But a composer, one of the radio freedom fighter. John Paul Grimstead. Paul Grimstead. Shout out to him. The the guy who's running the freedom fighter. What I'm trying to say is that from a musician standpoint, I love the fact that someone like Dijon is in this movie, Alana Haim is in this movie, and that she got her own lead on Licorice Pizza. And that it's something more. Is it? I don't know. For me, I think it's something more than just actors. Like you're bringing on this whole world and this whole other people that if you've never listened to any of their respective musics, go and check it. In their own right, they are forward thinkers in a way that PTA is a forward thinker for his direction. And I just think that it's the merging of worlds that absolutely Johnny Greenwood. I think it's really interesting. And PTA's castings I've always really admired, because he has such an amazing mix of huge stars, people who have been in the game for so long but who aren't movie stars, so to speak, and then you have people who are just starting off, complete unknowns, like in this case Chase Infinity. But you also have just incredibly talented artists, just completely coming into work on something. And then Leonardo DiCaprio. And then DiCaprio's right in the center. Benicio del Toro. It's just like, for me, PTA, like everything is so purposeful. And the casting itself is so purposeful. And you have such an eclectic cast, but not all of them are movie stars, it's finding the balance of that, but finding also the right balance to tell a story like this, it's brilliant. Can I ask you a question on with all of these? Where do you think, or what did you take away from Regina Hall's performance? And where do you think? Because I've come away thinking that her character subtly is incredibly important. Oh yeah, she is. But I want to see if you had any thoughts about Regina Hall's character. Is an interesting one because in the film, she's not given a huge amount. She's sort of this person who kind of tries to keep Willa, Chase Infinity's character, safe, trying to sort of extract her and kind of make sure the people coming after her don't get the hands on her. She takes her to this sort of nunnery where her mother had a lot of ties to, and she becomes a second mother in my opinion.
Yes.
You see it as well in the earlier scenes when Tiana Taylor's really struggling with being a mum.
Yeah.
And you see how Regina Hall is just like, she's holding that kid. She's the one packing them up, helping them. Like, and also, I mean, I don't know. This is a question. Did you see a love connection with Regina Hall in regards to she
what, Leo?
Yeah.
Potentially.
That's the second watch.
The more you've been talking, in a lot of ways, I will look out for this in the second time. But like, Regina Hall is almost like Tiana Taylor's character, in a way, what Tiana Taylor's character kind of should be.
Ooh, yeah.
Because Tiana Taylor's character, what she does, and I think what PTA was really trying to kind of show with that character, is how the far left revolutionists and the far right, what are the similarities between those two things? Tiana Taylor, again, like I said at the start, she knows no other way. This is her purpose. She's born from a bloodline of revolutionists, and that is her through and throughout. And she chooses to abandon her family. She chooses to abandon, her daughter, walk out the door, never come back, because her purpose in life is to be a revolutionary. But not once at any point do we really understand why that person is a revolutionist. And I don't think that actually matters. I think that's the whole point. The whole point is she's so consumed by an idea that, she will stop at nothing to achieve it. She becomes incredibly violent. She kills someone, and she's the kind of person who will literally, the first time you see her, walk into a room and shoot you and say, this is the revolution, motherfucker, and nothing, and not care about anything else. For her, she is purely there as a person to make statements and to cause chaos for the opposition. Essentially, nothing else matters to her, basically. And I think Regina Hall's character is a couple bad years away from being that. That's what I kind of think. I think if Tiana Taylor wasn't so sort of self-consumed in this idea and didn't sort of lose her way, so to speak, Regina Hall's character might have been a more accurate representation of what that mother could have been like. Basically, that's what I think.
In her own right, she saves Chase Infinity. And she becomes such a important person who's still on the freedom, who's still a freedom fighter. But like, never left. Stayed by their side. And again, if that then ties into, I thought I saw a little bit of jealousy is not the word, but
maybe
I think from what I saw, again, I could be completely wrong, but again,
I think now thinking with Tiana
Taylor,
that
I want that to be me.
Now thinking back to
I want that. And then she still takes on, despite all of that, let's say she does like Leonardo DiCaprio, despite all of that, and it's not about liking or not liking, but as in she still takes on, like, I'm going to care for you like you're my daughter. Yeah. In the same way that Leo takes care for his daughter, who's...
I think it's interesting because I think she did do that purely mostly from a I owe your mom a lot kind of perspective. Like, clearly the two of them were very close, and you know what, like, she's recognizing the sins of the mother. So almost like she feels a responsibility of sorts to make sure this daughter is able to live a life of her own choosing, I guess. I think that's what her objective kind of is. And the only safe place she knows for that is this sort of nunnery, I think.
Do you see how, and then even on the nunnery, do you see how important, like, this is why, again, I find Tiana Taylor's character so interesting, because she wasn't there, and actually she made bad decisions, but the women in this film, they're the bosses. You know, everything is down. And then Leonardo DiCaprio is obviously Leonardo DiCaprio, but he sort of becomes this guy who he's not a leading man.
No.
He becomes this like in his shell man. Benicio del Toro is just the great sensei, but it's the women in this film that are really the decision makers. The powerful. Even Tiana Taylor's mum in the film, who obviously is from generation to generation, who said to Leo during the film, like, "You're not good enough for my baby." Like, it's so. I think he creates this, which you then see in the nunnery as well, where obviously these nuns are getting trained to, like, in growing weed and learning how to shoot and fight. It becomes this whole different story that is not male oriented at all, even though we're talking a lot about father-daughter relationships. We're talking a lot about Sean Penn and like these, but like
the women are the ones
that they are the ones in this movie that are, you know, Tiana Taylor's the one who fired the bullets, you know, in the bank heist gone wrong, or she's the one who decided to do that. I just find it such an interesting thing when actually then they take away Tiana Taylor, and then the rest of the film becomes about Leonardo DiCaprio trying to find, like, just trying to find himself again, or some remnants of what he once was.
Yeah, I mean, I think also, like, it really intensifies the kind of conflict, the parallels in conflict, because with casting, sort of, again, if you want to look at it literally, like, you have white males in positions of abusive power, but then you have black women as the main kind of counter to that, and showing those almost two polar opposites. There's a commentary on racism there. There's a commentary on sexism there as well. Like, there's so, just going back to what you were saying, like, packing like so many dense themes and threads into this film, and to have it all really kind of pulled off in a way that feels both fulfilling but also leaves you wanting to ask questions, I think is the ultimate kind of experience here. So yeah, I think it is just a through and throughout brilliant film. It is, I think, the best film of the year.
Can I ask you a difficult question?
Ask me a difficult question.
Use best film of the year for you, but where for you does it rank in the PTA filmography? So I think I would need to give it a second watch. I'm going to go check it out again in IMAX to really see where this kind of cements one battle after another in kind of the grand scheme of PTA. I did, again, like I said, go to the Prince Charles yesterday, and I watched Magnolia in 35mm, and then I watched There Will Be Blood. For the longest time, I thought Phantom Thread was my favorite PTA, but then I just rewatched There Will Be Blood last night, and I was like, bruh, this is next level. Like, this is the winner. I think that is always going to be number one. I think this is interesting. It's really interesting. I would need to give it a second watch, but I think. For my personal taste and my preferences, I would rate this quite high, I would say. Okay.
Yeah, in terms of PTA. What about yourself?
Coming into this, randomly, funny enough, but I rewatched Licorice Pizza, Punch Drunk Love,
me too.
And Inherent Vice, right? And again, not that I wouldn't say that they're his lesser known ones. I don't think that's fair at all. But but for me, looking at that side of things and then looking at this film, I think this film does a lot of that sort of. Is it weirder elements of PT? I don't even.
Yeah.
But like it hits that so right in a way that I think The Master hit as a movie.
Yeah.
But in this movie, and maybe this is just down to the money or the fight. You know, it's, I don't know. Is it his first 100 mil plus in terms of budget? Big budget. I do think that on this one, what he does as well is that he will get, or if he doesn't, he definitely should. He will get the casual cinema goer just watching that movie in a way that I'm not sure people will go back and watch something like The Master or Inherent Vice. Like, not a lot of people. Maybe they would, but I just think with this one, he can get. Everyone.
He has the appeal of a blockbuster. And again, I think this is probably PTA's most mainstream film without losing that kind of weirdness, or I think that's still in there. I think like I said, there's something for a lot of people to take away from the film. I hope this is not the case, but I really hope the film does well. I'm not sure if it's going to do well.
Why'd you say that?
Because number one, unfortunately, in today's day and age, it's a 3-hour film. That's going to put a lot of people off. Like a lot of people just ask, I don't have 3 hours to go and just put it in the cinema. And I also feel like it's been a really difficult film to market, because it is about so many different things. So the only kind of way you can draw the audience in is via its more action-heavy kind of elements. And also, Leo is in the film. He's the leading man. Even in a lot of ways, even though in the film, in a lot of ways, I don't feel like he necessarily feels like the leading man. I feel like every character. I think that every character has their chunk of the film and is as interesting as the next in their own right. So I think this is very much, I would say this is an ensemble piece as opposed to Leo really leading it.
But all of that aside, you are saying it's what, best film of the year for you?
Absolutely, man.
So do you see what I'm saying?
It's going to be a big one for the Oscars.
It's crazy that you can say that and then be like, I'm not sure if people are gonna.
And it makes me sad. It really makes me sad. I was kind of describing it to people at work, and they were like just a bit flabbergasted, and I was like, just see it, man. Just go see it. They won't see it, but I really hope this film does well. I really hope it makes its 100. I hope it makes profit for Warner Bros. So they can greenlight more films for PTA with this kind of scope. Not that he necessarily needs a budget to be an amazing filmmaker and tell an amazing story, but I think unfortunately, I think my more cynical side of things would say, I think it's more than than just a mainstream blockbuster or whatever. And it's like you say, it's a bit weird. It's 3 hours long. Like it's not an action film. I think people are going to be put off by the idea and the notion of going to see it. But I really hope I'm wrong, and I really hope this film does well. And I hope Leo really kind of sells it for a lot of people. So yeah, that's kind of what I think. Unless you have. Any other notes or any other talking points you want to...
I would...
you want to talk about the...
I would love to know for you if there's anything where the film fell short for you.
See, again, I think I would really need to when I see it on the second one, because the first one was so overwhelmingly positive I was. And I came out of the cinema and I thought the only thing that could have I could have used a little less of was the kind of sort of tying everything up in a knot at the end kind of thing, and sort of... But then even looking back on it, I'm like, it wasn't even that heavy-handed. It worked really nicely, I thought. Really trying to think here. I would just have to see because for me, it didn't feel like 3 hours.
No.
So it would depend on my second watch. How about yourself?
I don't like throwing out perfect film and all of this sort of terminology.
Sure.
But look, great music, great story, great themes, great imagery, great cast, laughing, sympathizing. It just hits so well. My only thing, as I was explaining to you earlier, I don't know how I feel about the Riverdale sort of situation where you've got grown people playing kids. I don't know personally where I stand with that.
Yeah. So Chase Infinity, she's 25 years old and she essentially plays a 16-year-old.
But they make that clear in the film that she's 16, and I'm like, it's so minor. I just don't know. Again, it's like when you watched Riverdale on Netflix back in the day.
I didn't watch it, but I mean,
Riverdale,
Euphoria.
Or Euphoria, teenagers that are being played by, mid-20s people in their mid. I don't know. For me, the thing is though, I look back and I'm like, if they genuinely did get a 16-year-old girl to play the role, it would be so different. And Chase Infinity, don't get me wrong,
she's so good.
She does the best job.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying, we need a change in personnel here. I just find it interesting from the thing of, because they said so much 16-year-old, and then gives us a 25-year-old.
Did you buy her as a 16-year-old?
No, not at all. Not at all. She was grown. Not at all. But
it still works, but for the story they're telling.
The thing that the reason why it was fine, because there was no, obviously in Licorice Pizza, there's underage love story.
Mm-hmm.
There's no love story in this. There's nothing.
Yeah, and in Euphoria and shows like that, you have the over sexualization of teenagers.
You see what I'm saying? There's nothing on this. Which is why it works fine. I'm just saying as a point of, in general, how do I feel about aging up? I don't know. But the film holds up. I don't have. If I'm coming away from that movie and that's the only thing I have on that, which isn't even a point, I just think there's nothing to say but go and watch it.
There you go, guys. One battle after another. I think myself and you would give this close to, I'm hesitant to say it, but maybe close to full marks at this current time.
This is one of those films. Watch it again, see how it holds up.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, guys, that was myself and Isaac's dissection of Paul Thomas Anderson's One Battle After Another. If you've seen the film, which I really hope you have, if you are still here, do let us know what you thought of the film down below in the comments section. We'd love to know. Isaac, I know you didn't really want to play games or don't want to do games, but I have got 2 games for you. Okay, so the first game I have for you, Isaac, is a blind ranking of Paul Thomas Anderson's films.
Oh yeah, like the one to
right. So
go.
There's 5 spots, and I'm going to throw you a film, and you're just going to have to give it a number.
Fine.
Correct?
Fine.
Without knowing what's coming next.
Fine.
So blind ranking Paul Thomas Anderson's films. So first up, we have Licorice Pizza.
5.
5. Wow, straight in there. Damn. Up next, we have Phantom Thread.
I'm gonna be so real. I've not actually seen.
You haven't seen it?
I know, but
okay. Let me swap it out. Boogie Nights.
I'm gonna be so real. I've also not seen.
Okay, let me swap it out.
But I know that they're both great movies. But sorry, swap it out.
Let me swap it out. Punch Drunk Love.
3. Really enjoyed it.
Up next, Magnolia.
I've not seen Magnolia in a long time. So, but I'm going to go 2.
Okay. Up next, One Battle After Another.
Okay,
you've already fucked it.
Yeah, so because I would probably put that 2. I would I would probably.
But you got 1 and 4.
It has to go 4. It has to because There Will Be Blood will be going number 1 as long as that's what you're saying next.
The Master.
You're a waste man, bro. You're a waste man. The Master was a great film though. So if I can do that again, I know you're not allowed to do that, but if I can do that again, and I hope you get a little animation next to it. We'll go One Battle After Another as the top one.
Yeah.
We'll go The Master as the second one. We'll go Punch Drunk Love third. We'll go Magnolia 4, and then we'll go Licorice Pizza 5.
Wow,
all great movies.
But do you know what's amazing about this is, even though we messed up on the rankings,
Thank you.
We should be more pissed off, but we're not, because it's PTA and all of those films
Genuinely,
are fucking great.
They're all worth watching, and even the fact that I'm sitting here and I haven't even seen his entire filmography, they're all just worth watching. They're all just
absolutely. He's only got 10. So it's very much, something you can do.
Yeah.
Game number 2, the final game, is can you match the Letterboxd review to the Paul Thomas Anderson film?
Oh, yeah.
So I've got 5 Letterboxd reviews, and you've got to tell me which PTA film they belong to. So the first review we have: certainly an odd choice for Paul Thomas Anderson to name his own film after himself.
Magnolia.
No. Why is that Magnolia?
That's the only one that sounds like a name to me.
Bro, the answer is The Master. You just didn't get the joke. Okay, up next we have.
All right.
Are we locked in? Right. Up next we have Beau is Afraid for Romantics.
Yes, Beau is Afraid for Romantics would have to be Punch Drunk Love.
That is correct, yeah. Up next we have Bowling and Milkshakes with the Bestie. What's better than this?
Licorice Pizza.
No.
Bowling and Milkshakes with the Bestie. What could be better than this?
Yeah.
Bowling and Milkshakes with the Bestie. Which PTA film has bowling and milkshakes? Is this one that I've not seen? Is it?
You have seen
it? Is it Boogie Nights?
Nope.
Is it Magnolia?
Nope.
Is it The Master?
Nope. Bro, come on.
Is it?
I drink your
There Will Be Blood.
milkshake. Yeah. I drink it up. I drink your milkshake.
So you don't know how this sounds in the headphones, but this is crisp. That is,
I drink it up. All right. Okay. Up next, we have best bread buttering sound design of all time.
Bread buttering sound design. Bread buttering sound design. Is it One Battle After Another?
No.
Bro, I'm not sure. It's not Inherent Vice.
So the answer is Phantom Thread.
Okay, yeah.
Up next, we have after this and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, every director I like is now required to make a fun hangout movie set in a lovingly recreated version of the time and place they grew up.
Licorice Pizza.
That is correct. There we go. So guys, that wraps up the games, and that of course wraps up this episode on Paul Thomas Anderson's One Battle After Another. Thank you so much, Isaac, for...
Before I go,
yep.
I've just cut you short on your thing. I love the Popcorn Podcast. What you do here is great.
Hey, stop.
No. But this is now in the time I can just say it, even if it just makes the little like post-credit bit. What you do is great. Don't ever stop it. And I love you. I love this whole setup.
Love you too, man. Love you too. Thank you for joining me on the couch. This has been great. Guys, let us know what you thought of the film down below in the comments section. We will be seeing Isaac back on the couch at some point.
Yes.
But again, thank you. That was I had a great time doing that. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for listening, and we'll catch you very soon in the next episode of the Popcorn Podcast. Cheers.